Hello everybody out there in the bookverse, it's Stephanie, and today I'm back with my August wrap-up. And August wasn't as good as a lot of other months that I've had reading-wise. I didn't read as many books as I would have liked, but I did still complete TBR Star Hop, and I feel like I did pretty decent considering I was very busy during the month of August. So yeah. The first book that I'm going to talk about is one that I'm actually not 100% finished reading yet because I am filming this a little bit earlier in the month. Empire in Black and Gold by Adrian Tchaikovsky. I have not 100% finished this book yet. I'm about halfway through and I am really enjoying it. I was expecting this to be a little bit different going into it. I was expecting more sci-fi vibes to it because I'm pretty sure that Adrian Tchaikovsky writes sci-fi novels. I'm pretty sure I actually have another one of his books that is sci-fi, but this very much feels fantasy to me. If anyone knows 100%, let me know down in the comments. But the world that this book is set in, the humans have somehow taken on these insect-esque characteristics. So they are called Kindin. So you have the beetle Kindin, you have the moth Kindin, you have the spider Kindin, and in this world, the wasp Kindin are becoming an empire and taking over and just ruling the rest of the world, and they are coming for everyone else. There's some people who are in denial. There's one guy who is one of our main people we are following who is trying to convince these other people that the wasps are not to be trusted and that they are going to want to conquer the world. I think this is very interesting world. I feel like I wasn't expecting it to be quite so insect focused, which is odd. I mean, not like actual insects, but people insect wise. That was a very interesting addition to this book, and I'm not exactly sure how I feel about it, honestly. It's okay. I like the story. I think it's very well told. I like the intrigue that goes on in here. I like a lot of the characters that are in this book. I just am not positive how much I'm going to love it until I finish it. So I will talk about this later on. I'll probably give a brief little run through of my final thoughts on this book at the beginning of next month's TBR game or next month's wrap up, just to kind of let you know on my ultimate feelings on this book, because I haven't quite decided yet. I am enjoying it though. The next book I'm going to talk about is from a series that I'm sure you guys are kind of sick of me talking about at this point, but I don't care because I love it so much, and that is The Golden Fool by Robin Hobb. This is the second book in the Tawny Man trilogy, which is the third trilogy in her realm of the Elderlings. And in this series, we are back with Fitz and the Fool, and
I'm in love and I love it so much, and it's just the best.
I absolutely adore Robin Hobb's writing. She is so phenomenal. She has just this gift of making you love her characters so much and hate other characters so much. Her character work is impeccable. It's some of the best I have ever read. And I feel like this book felt like a filler book to me. It was very slow paced. Not a whole ton of really big things happened, in my opinion. We were very much living in these court politics. We were involved in a lot of these very big decisions and a lot of the intrigue and that type of stuff, but a whole ton didn't really happen. And I didn't really care. I loved it. I love Robin Hobb's writing and I love these characters in this world. So I was okay just sitting through this build up and this filler book, and it was so enjoyable to me. I absolutely loved it. 5 stars. I am obsessed with Robin Hobb. The next book was a reread and very popular, so I don't really need to talk too much about it. That is Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. I am reading these books with my family, and it's very nostalgic to be back in this world, and little things that I feel like I missed before I'm picking up on now. So it's a whole lot of fun to do a reread of the series. I'm planning on binging the movies over Christmas break. Wow, I feel like this wrap up is going very quickly, but the next book I have to talk about is The Maidens. This was the August Top Shelf Society Book Club pick. It is by Alex Michaelides. This was pitched as a dark academia thriller book, and I'm gonna say I didn't quite get at the strong dark academia vibes that I was hoping for. I was hoping for a little more of that, and I was a little disappointed. This book essentially is a murder mystery where these girls who are in this kind of club called the Maidens at Cambridge University are being killed, and the main suspect is the man, the faculty professor, who is the head of this group of the Maidens. And we are following this psychologist who is trying to figure out what is going on with these murders because her niece goes to school there and her friend was the first one to be murdered. It was a very fast-paced, it was an easy read, it's pretty short, so it wasn't like it drug on. There were elements in it that I didn't think were necessarily necessary for the plot. I think that some things could have been left out. I think some characters didn't need to be there, but overall it was fun. I didn't absolutely love it though. It's definitely not one of my favorite thrillers, and I didn't really feel like I was in that world, which is disappointing because the setting of this could have been so amazing with the Cambridge University and the murders and the creepy professor and all these things. It just had a lot of potential and it just didn't hit the mark. We chatted about it in our Top Shelf Society live show, and we agreed we think this would be better as a movie than as a book. And I think that if they do come out with a movie for this, I would definitely check it out. I think that would be awesome, and we would probably get a lot more of those creepy college vibes from a movie. But overall, it was just fine. I had a lot of issues with the plot. I had issues with the characters. I had issues with just the rationale of some of the people in here, and it was kind of a struggle, but it was such a fast read that I feel like I didn't have time to get too annoyed with it. But yeah, so it was okay. I didn't love it, and I don't feel like it was what it was pitched to be. And we are already on to the last book in this wrap-up. I guess I'm so used to doing these wrap-ups with double digits of books and just kind of out of control numbers. I'm actually at a more normal number. And the last book I have to talk about is Firekeepers Daughter by Angeline Boulley. This book is set on a Native American reservation in Northern America, and it follows a 18-year-old girl who just graduated from high school and was on her way to college when her grandmother got sick, and she stayed home to help her mother care for her grandmother and to support her mother through this very difficult time. She is very into hockey. She was a big hockey player in high school, and her younger half-brother is still into high school hockey, and one of his new teammates ends up being our love interest in this book, and she is also trying to solve some deaths that have been happening surrounding drug use on the reservation. So overall, I think this book was enjoyable. I had fun reading it. It was fast-paced. I find that when we have these whodunit kind of mystery stories, it's very easy to get invested and just go along with these fast-paced plots. I struggled with a lot of the decisions that our main character made. I felt like she was pitched to be this very, very intelligent person, and yet she made some very unintelligent decisions, and that bugs me in so many books. That's something that is just a pet peeve of mine, when they pitch their character to be crazy smart and then they just make really dumb decisions. I'm like, you're not the smartest now, are ya? So that kind of got to me. Also, I did guess what was happening. I find that I guessed in the Maidens and I guessed in this one, so maybe it's just this month of August I'm guessing the twists, but I did guess what the twist was, what was happening, so that was a little bit disappointing, but that's like not the book's fault. This book focuses a lot on the themes of identity and knowing who you are as a person, where you came from, and also on like your ancestors, your beliefs, your culture, and those types of things. So I think that was extremely well done in this book. I really enjoyed that a lot. And there were some interesting things that were put into this book, mentioned to kind of get you to understand the culture and the Native American beliefs and that type of thing. So I think that was excellently done, and I really enjoyed that aspect of this book. I did have fun reading this book, and it was great to chat with the author in our live show for the Top Shelf Society book club. I thought that was a whole lot of fun, and I really, really did enjoy that. Overall, this was a fun book. It is a YA book, and I guess I didn't know that going into it, so in case you're like me and you didn't know, this is a YA thriller. I feel like I don't tend to enjoy YA thrillers all that much. It's not a genre that I am super into, but overall, it was fun. It was quick. I got into it really fast and done with it really quickly. So obviously I did enjoy, I zoomed through it, but it's not a new favorite. I totally forgot that I read a 6th book. In August, I actually borrowed it from my library, so I don't own it, so I forgot about it, but I read Crown of Feathers by Nikki Palpetto. This is a read-along that is happening over on Vish's channel. I will link it down below if you want to go check her out. So we're reading this trilogy, the first book we read in August, and I really enjoyed it. It is a young adult fantasy series about Phoenix riders, and there is our main character who wants to become a Phoenix rider so bad. That is like her dream forever, is to become a Phoenix rider. And at the very beginning of the book, she and her sister have found these Phoenix eggs, and one hatches for her and she has her own Phoenix. The magic in this world is very interesting. They can communicate with animals in their thoughts and kind of influence them. And with Phoenixes, they will actually bond with them. So it'll be a lot closer than just the normal communication they have with other animals, and they'll actually be able to form a bond with them, and it will increase those Phoenixes' intelligence and their ability to kind of communicate and understand humans. So that's kind of cool. We also follow 2 other perspectives, and one of them is a young boy who has this magic, which is looked down upon and hunted in the world that they live in. And this boy is a soldier in the army of the country that is trying to like wipe out all these magical people and these Phoenix riders, and he hides his powers. And then we also follow another young boy who is part of a resistance trying to regrow these Phoenix riders and like train new ones. So we have a couple of perspectives going on in here, and it was really fun, really enjoyable. I think it was a very easy book to get into. It was extremely info dumpy, so if that's something that really bugs you, this might annoy you a bit, but it was just so info dumpy, especially at the beginning. I feel like we would just kind of be sitting there with our main character, and all of a sudden she'd be like, oh, and this historical thing I just thought of, and you're like, okay, like you can explain the whole history of the country right now just randomly. So it didn't bug me a whole ton. It was a little bit jarring, and I feel like it took me out of the story a little bit just because it wasn't done as smoothly as I would have liked, but it was fine. I think overall, I really enjoyed this book. It was a great introduction to this series, and there was a lot of cool aspects and things that happened in here that excite me a lot to continue on with the rest of the series. It has a lot of potential, and I'm really, really looking forward to seeing how we do in the rest of these books. I think I'm going to withhold my judgment on how much I liked this first book until I've continued with this series, honestly, because I just am not sure at this point. I really, really enjoyed it, and I feel like it could either shoot up and be a like favorite YA series, or it could drop, because this first book isn't anything that I am in love with quite yet, but it has that potential. I don't know, I really, really enjoyed it. I really am interested in this world to see where we go, but I'm just a little hesitant at this point. So those are the books that I read in August. That was the quickest wrap up I think I have ever done. I feel like I just started talking about books and we're already finished with them. I will definitely let you guys know my final thoughts on Empire in Black and Gold, but yeah, that is all I have for this month. Let me know your favorite book and your least favorite book that you read in August. And as always, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more from me, hit the subscribe button down below and the bell icon, because my next wrap up is probably going to be much longer. If you have already watched my TBR game for the month of September, it was out of control. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.